Before going into Furiosa, I only had one question for George Miller.
Do you have it in you to make it epic?
Furiosa is directed by George Miller and it stars Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth. And in the prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, a younger Furiosa is taken away from her family and she devotes the rest of her life to trying to find her way home and trying to get revenge. Now, I am a big fan of Mad Max Fury Road. I've never watched the original Mad Max films, but I will have to soon. But Fury Road is probably one of my favourite action movies. In fact, no, it is. It is. I think like 20, 50, 100 years from now, we'll still be looking back at Fury Road and saying that was a movie that was just ahead of its time, I'd say, in most cases anyway. I just love that film. It's a thrilling ride from start to finish, and I'll watch it any day. And Furiosa was a film that I was really excited to watch, but it kept getting delayed, delayed, and delayed. And I just kind of thought, yeah, this movie's never coming out. Until I saw the trailers. And the first trailer just hooked me in immediately. And I finally went to see it this Friday. Super excited. It was a full packed theatre for me. And I'm happy to say that while I do think Furiosa isn't as good as Fury Road, but to be honest, was that even possible? It still is an amazing movie. Furiosa is a typical revenge story. Now, I love a good revenge story. If you write a good revenge story well, I'm hooked in and I'm in for the ride. And this is a great revenge story. Immediately, you understand what happens with Furiosa, why she hates the villain, why she wants to get revenge, and it does a great job of making you really hate the villains as well. The villain Dementus. I loved this villain. He is so evil, and that's pretty much it. He does have a bit of a sensitive side where you can kind of understand a bit about him, but that's not really prevalent a lot. It's masked over by this incredibly psychotic behaviour, which, again, is just great for the character. Like, he's evil and he knows it. He does the most evil things just because he's psychotic, and I loved it. He is truly an irredeemable villain. But what I really liked about the characters and the story is that it takes its damn time for it to build up. It's a very slow movie this at times, which I really appreciate. It's not rushing through backstory like many movies nowadays. We mainly focus on a younger Furiosa for the first half of this movie, and we see how she learns her skills, as she comes to understand the ways of the wasteland, how she gets to different places, how she forms relationships with people. I really like that this movie took its damn time to build it up. And the build-ups and the payoffs by the end are incredibly satisfying because of this. And what I also liked is that around this big revenge story, it actually builds the world of Mad Max in so many ways, which I really appreciate. I like how there's this big political warfare now, like out of nowhere. I just thought that was really good, and now we see the other cities in this world and why they clash and how they got taken over. I just think they did really well at building out this world even more. But of course, the main reason why people kind of want to see these movies is because of the high octane action. And I'm happy to say that the action slaps once again. This is the sort of action I really like, where it's doing different things and it's not afraid to get so over the top at times. But the good thing about Mad Max Fury Road was that, yeah, it was a bit over the top, but it was quite grounded and things were possible. Like, even over the top things were possible. And they do that again here. And I just love some of the sequences in this movie. You see it in the trailer, but the bit where, wow, Furiosa's motorcycle gets fumbled a bit, she crashes it and then she skids under a truck, only to get chained under that truck with the motorcycle. That was sick. That was absolutely sick. And the way the action shot with the use of slow-mo and the zooms and the over-the-top camera work, it just made the action more thrilling and fast. And I'll say it again, I say this all the time, but stuntmen need more recognition, man. They do not get enough recognition. But, and this is the one thing that makes this inferior to Fury Road, Contrary to popular belief, Fury Road does use quite a bit of CGI, but they do well at hiding it, apart from a couple shaky shots. It looks brilliant, the CGI. With this one, they use a lot more CGI, and it's very noticeable for the most part. Not saying it completely ruined the action whatsoever, like, the CGI looked fine for the most part. There were a few times where it looked really bad. There's this, without getting too into spoilers, but two characters are in this canyon, and the background looked so fake. Like, it looks like something out of Spy Kids. It looked awful, that moment. But anyway, well, with the action, you can tell that there's a lot more CGI used in this. And while it doesn't make the action bad, it just makes it not hit the same as it did in Fury Road, if you get me. Like with Fury Road, we're actually seeing these cars and vehicles getting blown up all the time. And with this one, you can tell that most of the vehicles and explosions are CGI and not practical. And it kind of just took a lot away from what I loved about Fury Road. And that's kind of the only thing that makes this film inferior to that film. But otherwise, technically, this movie's brilliant. This film is shot incredibly well. Some of the direction and cinematography, ooh, spicy. I loved it. The shots in this film, absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, loved it. The music as well. I've always been a fan of the Mad Max Fury Road music, and they knock it out of the park again here with Furiosa. I just love the fast-paced music, and when it's a bit slower, it's very boom, boom, hard-hitting, and it just makes things more thrilling and drive more. And finally, the performances in this film, absolutely perfection. Anya Taylor-Joy's Furiosa, amazing. She doesn't say a lot of lines, but she does a great job of producing that female rage that Anya really wanted to do in this film. She pulled that off perfectly without saying much. Absolutely incredible in this role. And also a shout out to Alila Brand, who plays the younger version of Furiosa. I thought she did a great job in this film as well. Again, not many lines for her, but still did a really good job of what she was given. But the main standout here, everyone's talking about him, Chris Hemsworth as Dementus. You can tell from the first moment he appears on screen that he's just having the time of his life. And I loved it. I said earlier that Dementus is just this incredibly evil guy. And Chris Hemsworth pulls it out of the park amazingly. I've always said that since he's taken the role of Thor, he's not really been able to show his diverse acting range. With this, he proves that he can be this madman, this psycho, and he just did an excellent job in this role. And also another shout out to the makeup artist, because they did a brilliant job with the prosthetics on him. But in conclusion, Furiosa is an amazing prequel to a pretty much perfect movie in my eyes. Amazing revenge story, interesting and engaging characters, brilliantly directed action, even though it's not as good as the ones in Fury Road, incredible cinematography and direction, hard-hitting music, amazing performances. Please go and see this in the cinema. It's not open well at the box office. Please, let's save it, because these are the type of movies we need to watch in the cinema. It's a film that's absolutely amazing. It's for anyone, especially if you love Mad Max. Instantly, I'm going to give Furiosa a 9 out of 10. See it when you can. Absolutely love this film. But guys, that is it for the end of this review. If you have seen Furiosa, please let me know your thoughts on it in the comments. Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Have a good day. I'll see you later.